Combustion analysis is an experimental method to come up with the percent composition of any compound that has just these three elements. So in other words, we'll find out the percent carbon, hydrogen, and if there's oxygen, sometimes there's no oxygen. If there's oxygen, we'll figure out the percent by mass of oxygen as well. And by the way, this type of compound is a fuel. And it could be a fuel, anything from a gasoline to a carbohydrate to a fat, any kind of fuel that is carbon-based with only those elements. When those burn combined with oxygen, we get two products. If it burns completely, we get carbon dioxide and water. Okay, and the way this works, it depends on the fact that all of the carbon that is in this fuel ends up in the CO2. All of those carbon atoms end up in the CO2. And then all of the hydrogen that is in here ends up in the water. And so that makes that easy. And oxygen is a little trickier because oxygen is the other reactant as well. But what we can do for oxygen is we know the total mass of this that is burned. And so we can figure out from the percents of these how much oxygen must have been in there. So anyway, it'll be a calculation. Let's look at how the experiment works. Basically, this is where your fuel is. You pipe in oxygen, you ignite that. The products, the CO2 and water, come out here. This is a tube that has a drying agent that traps water, and basically you weigh this tube before the experiment, and then after you burn it, the water that's trapped in there, you figure out its mass by weighing this tube again and subtracting. Same thing with this tube. This one has sodium hydroxide, which traps the carbon dioxide. So you weigh this before and after you do the combustion. So you'll start by getting a mass for the water and the carbon dioxide, and you'll calculate your percents of the elements in the compound.